things are resolved, maybe it's madness. I'm begging you, please pick up the call. You're causing me damage. I should've known, wasn't your fault, don't even matter. I wasn't thinking clear, trying to take it there. Scared to lose it all, I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I'm just standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. We've all been here before.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Shenandoah University broadcast. Today, we have some fun Overwatch for you guys. I'm Ben, joined by Kyle. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Ben. How are you?
Great. I mean, this is our first Overwatch on stream, at least, of the week, right? We have NECC Overwatch. I believe we're in Division 7. This is Week 1 against Alabama Huntsville. Very excited to jump into this matchup. It's been a while since I've touched on some Overwatch, but you've been playing it quite a bit. What can we expect? What is the meta? What are we looking at in the Overwatch world?
So as far as meta goes, it's been, or at least in the WWCS, like competitive leagues, from what I've seen, as far as tanks go, I'm seeing a lot of like Hazard, the new tank on the block, very strong, very polarizing. We also have Malga and Orisa, who, if anyone has been catching up on Overwatch, those two have been very prominent as far as tanks go recently. But support line has kind of been around the same as well. We've seen a lot of Juno, Brig, a little bit of Kiriko, and I'm seeing a little bit of Lucio rise up on a very few comps, but that's beside the point. Ben, I think we're going to expect a lot of brawl coming out from Shenandoah here.
Yeah.
Shenandoah has always had a history of becoming brawl-centric with the Orisa on Rain Dreamer. We also have a lot of like Tracer / Venture from Tiny Shiny.
Yeah, no, I mean, Brawl is kind of SU's bread and butter, right? When you go back, what, 3-4 semesters, it's Dragon Blade X, when Enders was on the team. We had, I believe, King Kong Poppy on the team as well. That was like the brawl of all brawl, because Dragon Blade X was just Reinhardt. That's it. That's all we played. It was Reinhardt TP. We knew how to do that one pretty darn well. But now Reinhardt's kind of out of the mix. That's not really what people want to run these days. It is kind of that Orisa, like you said, the Malga as well. And I believe Hazard, the new tank as well, has some promising hopes, I guess, for really any Overwatch player looking to climb the tank ladder here in NA. But yeah, so looking at this roster that we have, right? Some familiar faces from last semester with Ranger, Tiny Shiny, and Danny, and I believe Abby as well, Clabiella on that support role. But we do have some new faces coming through here. We have Jay Rudy on support, I believe taking the spot from Cherry Shea that was here last semester. And then Empro as well, Emery on that sub position there for that support role as well. So a rebuild of a rebuild, if you will.
Right. Yeah, and it's really, I'm really, I guess, interested to see how this team will try to kind of rebuild from the ground up, almost like once again, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We do have the schedule, I believe, our weekend schedule up and ready to go. Let's take a quick weekend schedule, our week schedule up and ready to go on this one. Hey, our TV's off. We can't see it, but I'm going to try to look through the window instead. So we have just Overwatch today, which is going to be super nice. Thank you to Ian running in to turn on our television.
Thank you very much. Always there to save us.
Here to save the day. I didn't know how to text that one through the phone. I couldn't get that up fast enough. I was on camera. So, hey, sorry for the call out. But I mean, it has been a very fun week thus far, right? We have Varsity Rocket League coming off a 3-1 victory yesterday. Our Varsity Smash Bros. Kip absolutely tearing through our competition yesterday. 23 stocks, by the way. Yeah, my co-caster's pretty darn good at what he does. Academy did fall 2-0, unfortunately, and then there's the rest of the week. Monday, 3-0 for our Varsity Rocket League, falling to Florida Southern. Academy Street Fighter as well, looking very, very strong. Kevin piloting, I believe it was the M Bison for that Street Fighter 6 competition there. Overwatch falling on Tuesday to Leslie University 3-1. So looking to bounce back here in this NECC competition. That was in NACE. Varsity Smash, again, another clean 2-0 from the squad. And then, of course, we had our Tekken going 2-1 Mossman on the Nina, looking very, very good as well.
Right, and a very solid week one for Shenandoah's competition. You know, we've had some wins, had some losses, but this is only the beginning for our program, right? These teams still have a lot of room to grow, a lot of room to improve upon their losses, see what they did wrong, see what they did right, and just sticking with what went right and kind of just improving upon what went wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'll be a good chance to really look at our difference, right? I mean, we saw them we didn't see them on stream, but we saw our Overwatch look strong on Tuesday in that NECC competition, going 3-1, a very close series. I know the numbers may say otherwise, but the players were like, yeah, it was just a couple hiccups here and there that if they turn those around, they can be very competitive, and maybe that one comes out in a different way. Maybe it's that 3-2 reverse, or it's a 3-1 in our favor, 3-0. Who knows what will happen? We'll be able to see their improvements here today, but I do believe we have a quick interview with Griff and Danny. Guys, take it away.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esports Arena here in Winchester, Virginia. I am here live in the Esports Arena where all the action is happening. We're going to get a talk here. I'm Griffin, and I'm joined by Danny, a.k.a. Flames. Danny, how are you feeling?
Oh, we're feeling pretty good. First game for NECC. We're trying to see how it goes this season.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to come out here and ask you a couple quick questions. I know I've been wanting to know. I know the fans have been wanting to know. So what is this new roster like? I know you guys have gone through a lot of rebuilds here in the past couple of seasons. I just wanted to know what that's taken a toll on you.
Yeah, as someone who's kind of new, it's definitely different. Trying to having those people that are role models for you and kind of take positions as you kind of start to come in new helps, but we don't really have that now. We're kind of losing a lot of these players that we've had that have been really involved here, and we're starting with a young team, starting a new season, and we're ready to go.
All right, that's a fantastic answer. And I was just wondering, have you had a chance to look at your NECC bracket, your group? Is there any teams that you're like looking forward to facing or have some rivalries with?
I think we're kind of going in neutral. We got a new conference this season, so we're kind of looking at some teams we're not used to playing. I think I'm looking forward to play RMU. That's a team from more where I'm from. I'm from Pittsburgh, so it's kind of more around my area. Trying to see where we can get with them, and we'll see how it goes.
Wonderful. And I just have one last question. I wanted to know, do you have any like outlasting goals from last season that you're going to look to carry into this season to like kind of build off of?
I think I'm looking forward to just try and take what I did last season and elevate it. I tried to take as what I could get into now with competitive. I haven't really played much in a while, trying to carry this into PC coming to the first time. And I kind of want to just elevate my game, see how I can go this far this season.
I mean, I can't wait to watch. I know everybody out here is ready to watch. We got some fans in the audience. Hope you guys are happy to watch online. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. We're going to send it back to the casters as they're going to wrap it up, and Danny's going to go get warmed up for his game. See you guys later.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you, Griff, for bringing us that great interview. But yeah, I mean, hearing from them, they feel good, right? Danny is trying to improve on himself, his own gameplay as well on that Reaper. Very, very strong Reaper player, knows all the angles for that teleport Death Blossom into that backline. I mean, he's had many a play of the game with that one. So yeah, I mean, looking at our team, right? I talked to Tiny Shiny earlier, who is our other DPS player alongside Mr. Danny, their Flames, and they're confident, right? This team that we're going up against at Alabama Huntsville is even in rank with us. Our average rank is pretty close, right? But they feel good about what they were able to show on Tuesday and are feeling very confident coming into this one that they can pull off an SU win here.
Right, and here we have our players here just ready to go. We have some of our standings here so far. We have a series record of 2-4. Still trying to build up kind of team cohesion because it's still a fairly new team. Even if one player on the main roster has been swapped out, it still almost feels like you have to change the entire dynamic with that one player being gone. And I feel like for Shenandoah, it's only going to be up from here.
Yeah, I mean, you look on the other side as well for Alabama Huntsville going 3-2, the series record for them. Very positive, a 10-6 game record as well. So a very strong team that we were coming into, but I mean, always room to grow, right? And SU, they feel like they were able to grow quite a bit. Let's take a quick look at, I believe, the groups that we have set up here for Division 7 NECC. Some familiar names, right? You just went up against Thomas More on, I believe it was, Tuesday? I
Correct,
believe.
yeah.
And that one, what was, at least it seemed close to us. I know it wasn't close for you guys, but yeah, a familiar face there with Thomas More, Vanderbilt in there as well, Akron Robert Morris, and then Alabama Huntsville, who we play here today. Everyone clean slate, of course. This is week number 1. So yeah, pretty solid group from the looks of it.
Right. And right now, with this sort of lineup, it's always sort of interesting to see, like, after week 1, to see how we get a little sneak peek of how things might go for, I guess, the set records for these teams. Like, some might have that good start and get that first win of their season to try to kind of ride that momentum, to try to ride it to as far as they can.
Right.
But some other teams who have taken that unfortunate loss try to do, how do they get to, I guess, bounce back from that loss and without it, like, snowballing any further.
Right, yeah, I mean, coming in mentally with a clean slate into this matchup is exactly what you want to see from this Overwatch roster. Now we go through some of our player cams here. You just saw Rain Dreamer. There's Tiny Shiny. You've seen her on the desk quite a lot, but last semester and this semester, piloting the DPS for SU here. There's Flames there, that Reaper player, the menace of the backline, pairing a lot of the times with Rain Dreamer, with that Orisa in those twos. Jay Rudy, the new support as well. And then I believe we're going to kick it right over to Clabbiella after this one. Yep, there she is, Clabbiella, the other support for the SU squad. So everyone looking locked in, getting warmed up here a little bit, ready to go here for week 1, day 1.
Right, and here we go. It looks so, I guess, very in tune to their, their character. You know, Clabbiella just so locked in. We see Tiny Shiny just so always trying to keep a smile on. Always, I guess she's like the person that lights up the room in the team. She's always trying to have a good time. Obviously, she wants to win as well. And there's Jay Rudy giving a good smile. The newbie on the team, always trying to. I guess he's also trying to light up the room, and there's Clabbiella with a smile as well.
a smile and wave to the cameras from the team. I mean, it looks like the spirits are high. I mean, we saw the down the line shot as well. Tiny Shiny getting warm alongside Flames and Rain Dreamer as well. Everyone looks good, feels confident, getting warmed up as well. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time till we jump into this first map and this first series here for this NECC squad. But what are we expecting to come through from this SU roster?
So as far as like map picks is what you're asking.
Give me anything.
Well, I definitely know this is definitely a widely considered map to be like Legion Tower.
Yep.
Because I do believe in NECC rules. Map 1 is going to be attack. It's attack the center point. Whoever wins 2 rounds wins the map. Yeah, I think it's called control. Legion Tower is widely upon to be the best control map in the game. A lot of players like to, teams like to jump into that stage. And I don't think it'll be any different for Shenandoah because, at least in my experience, I've always seen them go to that Legion Tower on the first map.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely something that they like a whole lot, right? And then we move over to, I believe, Hardpoint is next, or it might be Hybrid. I'm not sure what the order of the modes are for NECC this semester. I don't know if they changed from last time, but I believe second up was that Hybrid rotation. Yeah, I believe Hybrid or Hardpoint was third, and then I think it went into Push and then Escort.
Flashpoint. I think Flash.
Control, Hybrid, Push is going to be the order. So, yeah, I mean, good starting rotation here for the first 3 maps. Or modes, rather.
And as far as map 2 goes, or as far as like Hybrid goes, I do believe since Shenandoah wants to run a sort of like brawl sort of team composition here, I do believe Kings Row might be the optimal choice for him. Just like in the old Shenandoah Overwatch days as well, every time that that mode would be brought up, they would always want to go to Kings Row.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll be any different here as far as like the map picks go.
Yeah, I mean, I think in our old kind of hype video that we had, there was a shatter right before, I can't remember what the last kind of push location is on Kings Row, but there was a nice shadow from Dragonblade X on that Reinhardt with that TP composition that we used to play. So very comfortable with playing Kings Row there on that hybrid push. I can't remember what the names are. Suravasa ? Or is that the escort? I don't know. But
I do believe it's Suravasa.
Suravasa. Hey, I'll take it if that is the one that we go to on that push mode. But yeah, expecting this Brawl comp to still come through from this SU squad. Rangemer on the Orisa looked very strong on it last semester as well. I know they were working with that when the Ramasher was kind of in that rotation as well, which I believe is Rangemer's best or most favorite hero to play in Overwatch. And then we have Reaper. Flames will always be on that guy. I mean, that is the tried and true just stud of that DPS lineup. And then we have Tiny Shiny as well. The Tracer, the Venture, depending on what this matchup looks like, it could be either one, right? And then going over to these supports, so we have J. Rudy on this Juno or this Brig, and then we have Clabiella on the Kiriko and Ana. A lot of these supports can really get moved around, really dependent on what the enemy team is running into them.
Right, and these supports, so versatile. These four supports that you brought up, the Juno, the Brig, the Kiri, the Ana, they're all so flexible in what sort of like team compositions they want to fit in. Because J. Rudy, who's now our main support player, opting to go for more the Juno, who could also be a flex pick as well, but mainly the Brig as a option for a main support. But you also have Clabiella, who could also play Juno, who could also play Kiri, as well as the Ana, who could just fit into those like high, like very different team compositions, whether it's Brawl, whether it's Dive, whether it's Poke. Those supports all just fit in so well, as they're so versatile.
And depending on what we see on the other side as well, if there is a Winston coming through with a dive comp or this Doomfist that gets some play here and there, not a whole lot, as the Winston dive is very, very strong, right? We might see this Kiriko come through for that TP into that backline to make sure, all right, I need to cleanse someone, keep them alive, and then we need to try to turn and burn onto this Winston. Or maybe it's just that, all right, Winston's behind us, let's just go forward and have him play catch up. Let's see how far we can get into their own backline and switch this Brawl comp right into a dive comp, frankly, right, with this Orisa.
Right, and something I want to bring up, just the composition of the new tank on the block, Hazard. He plays in such a strange way. He almost feels like a mix of like a Brawl tank and like a dive tank, because he has the mobility to get into the backlines and just be a nuisance to the backlines, whether there's supports or there's backline hit scans like the Ashe or a Cassidy. But he also has the sustainability with the block, as well as some good frontline damage output to kind of frontline tank against some other frontline tanks like Malga and Orisa.
Yeah, I mean, Hazard does kind of have that best of both worlds kind of balance of damage and survivability and sustainability in a lot of these extended fights, right? And a lot of that is thanks to these support rotations that are really good right now. The Nano from Ana does a whole lot of work if that is put onto Hazard. Frankly, anyone that is dishing out the damage. And then as well as this Juno and Brig, those speed ups, that rally as well from the Brig does so much work for your front line that sometimes it's really hard to blow up one or two members at a time. It's really that kind of long extended fights that we see as of late.
Right, and I do believe, look at these players trying to set up for the first game. Looks like doing some sort of communication, what kind of strategies you're trying to run down, maybe trying to decide the first map to go to in this series against Alabama. And like we said before, it might be Legion, but who knows? With a new team, this could be something completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is certainly going to be an interesting match. Ben, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's going to be close to the very end, right? Maybe a 5-mapper, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. That would be a pretty long night ahead of us if we go all the way, go the distance. But we, frankly, will just have to wait and see. I mean, who knows where this one will land? It is a toss-up. Like I said, both teams are very even in this ranking, right? The average ranking of all the members are taking into account and be like, all right, we're kind of sitting around this kind of average here, and these teams are pretty darn close. So it's going to be interesting to see if play styles change at all because of the evenness, or if a curveball gets thrown in there that SU or Alabama Huntsville is not expecting, and forcing out these hero swaps. I know Tiny Shiny has a very good knowledge of map layout. I know last semester there was a flank that she was going for that just barely got snuffed out to some loud stomping from Clabiella. I believe I think you might remember the play that I'm talking. I don't know if it was on push, and it was like overtime trying to get a flank with pulse bomb, and then Tiny Shiny just got blown to smithereens because they heard a little stomp from the Juno behind Tiny Shiny. But yeah, so that is maybe the same kind of game plan that Tiny Shiny is going for, is that kind of backline access, being that pest and just trying to get damage dealt, not necessarily finding the kills, leaving that one up to Flames on this Reaper and Raindreamer on this Orisa. So we'll just kind of have to see where everything kind of falls into place and who really takes that first step forwards to try to get these fights initiated.
Right, and I like how you brought up the role that Tiny Shiny has. The characters she plays, the Tracer and the Venture, both of those kind of fit that sort of role, just being a pest, kind of just diving the backlines, and even if they can't do that, they'll just divert their attention to them and just try to just gain the attention and away from, like, let's say the tanks and like the frontline DPS, like you said before, like Danny the Reaper. And even if like you have to like gain, you have to give them your attention, because if you don't give them your attention, your backline would get blown up by the Tracer. So it's kind of like a darned if you do, darned if you don't kind of situation. But we just got word that the first map on this series will be the Lijiang Tower, like we expected, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the Lijiang, tried and true. Everyone loves that map. It's really easy to love, frankly. I mean, it has very good sights to go on. I believe that's Command Tower there in the middle, or Command Zone, and then I think it's Gardens is the other area that we often go to second here. So it'll be interesting to see how this one gets played out. A lot of small chokeholds in this map. We're going through one here right now. This is the entry on one side of the map here. So some hallways, some flank angles here with this kind of balcony positioning for Tiny Shiny as well. But with these close quarters, a Reaper does pretty darn well paired up with that Orisa. A Javelin into, frankly, anything might one-shot a backline member depending on who it hits. So it'll be close quarters combat for the most part going into Lijiang Tower.
Right, and yeah, like you said, this might be the first point of this map here. And yeah, I do like how you mentioned how in, I guess, the control center portion of it has a lot of like tight quarters, which is perfect for like a Reaper, like you mentioned, Danny. But with a map more like Garden, it might be more open, more angles, but also not as many tight spaces, which might force Danny on the Reaper to maybe swap to an Ashe that he has in his back pocket, as he's been experimenting with a little bit more heroes to work with to kind of fit more of that role. And I do have some gameplay here, so we do have the tried and true. We have the Orisa, the Tracer, the Reaper, the Ana, and the Juno versus much more Brawl archetype as well. We do have Malga, Juno, Ilari, which is something that I was not expecting personally, and the Genji and Cassidy.
Yeah, the Cassidy coming through a very strong hit scan. Flames going low. Tiny Shiny still getting a lot of chip damage onto these backline members. Able to find two, strike falling on the Malga. The Cassidy going down as well. Stopping the cap coming through, and now it will be the first take for SU.
Right, as those points are racking up, even if they do kind of find themselves at like a stalemate, that is more than favorable for Shenandoah, because they will, the percentage will keep racking up and racking up, and like trying to get some nice pokes, but pokes a little too far, peeks a little too far up front and gets dinked by Captep the Cassidy.
Yeah, already we can see Tiny Shiny trying to get in that backline strike off the map. The SD, Tiny Shiny, able to find one on the backside. The Genji will fall, and now is up to J. Rudy, Tiny Shiny as well. Claviella finding a kill. The Pulse Bomb on to the Alari will find the kill. The team wipe for SU.
Right, a very unfortunate series of events for UAH. Strike just charging a little too far, jumping off the map. Very unfortunate, and it kind of just snowballed into the rest of the team losing that team fight with Tiny Shiny using that Pulse Bomb to take out the Alari.
And Tiny Shiny again in this backline, just trying to just get this chip poke damage onto these backline members, forcing the attention to be brought away from the main threats. I mean, Flames has that Death Blossom up and available. Rain Dreamer with the Terror Surge, and Claviella with the Nano. Terror Surge coming out, the Death Blossom as well in tow. Finds one, Tiny Shiny on the backside, finding two of her own. The supports are gone, and now it's just up to one lonely Genji, but you can't do a whole lot in the face of the Hornets.
Right, and I love that ult combo coming out from Rain Dreamer and Flames. We do see, like, this team kind of have like a duo system, right? We do have Rain Dreamer and Flames kind of working together as a way to kind of combo their ults together with the Terror Surge and the Death Blossom, but unfortunately the charge from the Malga is CC immune, so the Sea Dart did not do anything, but they are trapped in the cage, and there is no escape once you're stuck in there.
Yeah, I mean, a good re-engage coming through there from Alabama. Huntsville will be able to stop the full 100-0 cap in favor of SU, but look at these ult points. I mean, Keptep does have that high noon up and available. The Alari has the ultimate ready as well, but Claviella still holding on to that Nano with that perfect opportunity to find that back line, or really that front line power onto the Orisa. Tiny Shiny very close to having the Pulse Bomb. Flames very close to that Death Blossom, as well as now SU looks to try to re-enter the site. The totem is gone, and now everyone on Alabama Huntsville is getting pushed out of the site. The Alari will fall. Lullaby, the Juno Garn as well. Keptep able to find one in response with the High Noon, but with a purple Amalga, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Right, and some really well-placed coordination from Shenandoah, but also having a little bit of an ult advantage as well. They had Death Blossom, they had Nano, they had just about almost everything they had to their disposal to take that first round of this map, while UAH, I believe they only had the High Noon and the Captive Sun as well. Yeah,
and the Alari, I don't believe, was able to ult in that fight. Keptep was able to find an angle towards the back end of that skirmish, but was only able to find one, and by the time that happened, Keptep's team was already gone. I mean, a great first control point there coming through from SU. Everyone seemed perfectly in sync with their ultimates, with the timers, with the plays that they were going for, as now we open up into point number 2. Keptep now on this Sojourn, as well as the Genji swapping over to this Tracer as well. Everything else staying the same on the side of UAH. Let's see if this change is what they needed.
Right, and I really like this DPS swap, because this, for a lot of Overwatch 2's lifespan, this, I guess, DPS duo has always been so reliable, right? Sojourn slowly creeping back into the meta with those recent buffs, and Opal Bison getting taken out by Tiny Shiny, but here we go, Strike getting purpled, not gonna survive. There's no way to cleanse that if you don't have a Kiriko on your team, so if you're on the side of UAH, it's gonna be very hard to kind of deal with Malga's sustainability when he's just getting purpled all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the strength of Ana, frankly. That purple is so gosh darn oppressive that it works very, very well. I mean, we can already see the Tracer getting low as well. J. Rudy will go down. Keptep able to find that kill. And now it's a Tracer 1v1. Who wins this one? The recall coming through. Looks like they're just going to go separate ways. Yeah, be like, all right, that was fun. I am now just going to run away. There goes the Malga. Strike going purple, but Rain Dreamer has already fallen. The Terror Surge was up and available, but they will just fall back, reset, regroup, and go for this retake.
Right, and the ults are starting to build up. We do have Terror Surge, we have the Nano, and Blossom and Orbital are both starting to build up. We do have the Cage fight as well as the Pulse on the side of UAH. We do have the Overclock slowly building up from Captep.
Yeah, Flames is about to have that Death Blossom up and available as well. Captep able to find one. Tiny Shiny goes down. Clabiella soon to follow will do so. The supports on the side of SU are gone. No ultimates used, however. If you can save those up, you might have 5 ults entering this next fight. Rainjimmer will fall on the back end of that fight. Tracer able to chase that one down, but now 5 ults to 2 on the, or 3, excuse me, on the side of UAHSU. This is a fight that you should be able to win.
Right, if you're on the side of Shenandoah, to get out of this position, you will have to use most of those ults, but you don't have to use all of them because support ults in this game are just so impactful, and it's really not wise to say to use both of them in a single team fight because, like I said, they're both so impactful. The Orbital Ray, like mentioned, with the damage boost, powering Flames with the Death Blossom and the Terror Surge. That's what I'm talking about, Danny. Danny's combo with Rain Streamer, just getting this Terror Surge and Death Blossom combo. Then I really like this sort of dynamics and those starting to build up for each other.
Yeah, and that was only 2 ultimates used. J. Rudy still has the Orbital Ray, Clabiella still has the Nano, and Tiny Shiny is still hunting in that backline to find the perfect pulse bomb. The Orbital Ray will now come out. Flames is moving forwards, trying to find these kills. The DPS lines are so gosh darn low. Rainjimmer able to finish off one with the Javelin, the other with the gun. Another beautiful fight coming through from SU.
Right, and we also see from UAH that they've had a Kiriko for quite some time now, and I feel like that is the wise choice in this scenario here because that Ana is just so pesky, so tricky to deal with when you don't have a Kiriko to cleanse the purple anti-nade, which Malika relies on Tiny Shiny getting that very impactful pulse bomb on Captep, who has been a thorn on their side for quite some time now. Are they going to get that? Juno pick, no, they get the health pack, but maybe they are. And here we go, Tiny Shiny getting that second pick, getting the third one on Opal Bison. While Danny pushes it up, and they take their first map of this series. Ben, what a great showing.
Yeah, I mean, look at, you already see the smiles. Rainjimmer having a blast, but that last fight, Tiny Shiny took so much attention away. The Juno was not healing. You couldn't. You were just trying to stay alive. Tiny Shiny was just in the backline wreaking havoc, and that just allowed everyone else on SU to keep pushing forward, put on a whole lot of damage, and take a nice 2-0 control and a 1-0 lead in the series.
Right, and this is what I was talking about earlier about duos, Ben. This team now has their own set of duos. Like I said before, Rainjimmer and Flames kind of playing this front line, just front tank everything in their path, while we have the support duo in the back, keeping each other alive while also supporting their team up front. That leaves Tiny Shiny. She's up on her own, but with the character she plays, that is perfectly fine with her because attention, it's a resource. Like I said before, she's trying to take attention away from Rainjimmer and Flames and trying to bring it to herself. And just like what we saw there, the Juno was so occupied with her, and she kind of had to, because even if she didn't, she would have died faster, you know? So she had to divert that attention to Tiny Shiny away from the Juno's team, and that's why they weren't getting healed as much. Yeah,
it was pretty much flawless execution there from SU, and even in some of these middle fights when they had all 5 ultimates up and available, they did not just go in and go, all right, let's pop everything and let's see what happens. They were like, all right, let's plan this out, right? We're going to rush in with the Orisa, start the Terror Surge, and then Flames is going to Death Blossom and see what we grab out of it. Everyone was purple as well, so that certainly helps on top of things when you can't get the healing from your Juno and from your Kiriko. And really, that swung the rest of that point, right? The momentum was fully in SU's favor. UAH was unable to get any more momentum coming through, and that was really just a massive confidence booster for the squad.
Right, and if I were Shenandoah, you would want to ride that sort of momentum to the finish line, because even when they had all their ults, they didn't have to use every single ultimate that they had at their disposal to win the fights needed. Like I said before, during that round 2 of the map 1, they had like 5 ultimates at one point, and to win the fight they only needed 2. I think it was only the Death Boss and the Terror Surge, like the frontline duo, just doing their thing, just trying to take the hits for everyone and just kind of deal the most damage as well.
Yeah, I love this kind of duo mindset that they're kind of coming in with a lot of these things. I know we've touched on it a lot, but it works so gosh darn well, especially with that frontline duo, with that Reaper and with that Orisa. I mean, those ultimates are just hand in hand, right? I mean, you do a bunch of AoE damage with that Death Blossom, and Orisa pulls them all close. I mean, it's pretty much a big group hug for SU at least, and everyone else just kind of gets blown to oblivion from Flames' Reaper. And it looks like we are going into hybrid here, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Eichenwald is the map of choice here coming through from UAH.
Yeah, and Eichenwald, that seems to be another Shenandoah classic on the side of hybrid. It's a pretty uphill map, because after the first point, from first point to second point, you are constantly going uphill, trying to traverse through that high ground. And with the kind of compositions that Shenandoah likes to go for, this might be a struggle for them for that kind of brawl comp, because they like to be very up close, and with the amount of high ground, there's a lot of angles that you need to take. So we'll have to see how this goes, as this was the other team's UAH's map pick here. We saw, this might be a different sort of pace changer for them as well, because they might not have to go for that brawl comp anymore. Maybe a poke comp, maybe like a Sigma, or maybe a different tank to try to just kind of poke and just slow things down, because Shenandoah, they look almost like a steamroll. It's almost impossible to stop them, but I do like this map choice, trying to slow them down.
And this might be a time where we see the hit scans come through. We might see that Ashe, especially after that first point is taken, because there is that kind of high ground bridge that you can play off of halfway till you get to that first push point when you capture that first control point here on Eichenwald. So maybe this is kind of that Ashe angle for SU. They are still hovering that Reaper, so maybe they will go with what worked last time. We do see a Kiriko instead of the Ana. Never mind, we're going to go right back to the Ana. It is the exact same team. We're going to run it back here for SU, frankly, possibly till it breaks.
Right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now is not broken. But UAH, they're trying to fix their sort of team comp right now. Still kind of brawl-like with the Zarya and Symmetra, but we also have a little bit of poke coming out from Echo. Very versatile character with the copy. However, ultimate needs to be, I guess, used in whatever situation needed. If you need more healing, you can swap a Kiriko and try to build up that very impactful Kitsune Rush. And here we go, trying to get some sustain going with this kind of very close quarters first map with that big choke under the bridge. It's going to be very hard for the defense to try to get through this. And we do see the Zarya trying to get through, and Danny not quite shooting the Zarya, the Echo out of the sky, but that's where we have Tiny Shiny to finish the job when Flames was trying to reload and trying to just be a thorn on the side. Even if Tracer can't get those meaningful hits from afar, she can still apply that sort of DPS passive where the person applied by DPS passive get less healing.
Yeah, we do see the switch off of the Echo into this Mei. We'll be able to find one into the backline. Clabula will go down. The Zarya as well. Strike pushing forwards, finding the kill onto Rain Dreamer. Will finally fall, and now it might be the point in favor of UAH. The contest coming through from Tiny Shiny, trying to get as much time in their favor as they can. I mean, there's J. Rudy able to find one. That is the back line of UAH down and gone. They might have been able to save this first point. The Zarya trying to keep anyone alive that they can, but Flames are going to be able to find two, and Rain Dreamer with a Javelin will be able to finish the job.
Wow, and there we go. It's just a great play from Shenandoah's rookie, Jay Rudy, swinging the tide of this fight, taking out both supports in a single torpedo. What looked like an unwinnable fight from that point turned into a one fight. And we do see Opal Bison swapping to May. Try to just lean more into that brawl archetype as Zarya likes to play very brawl-like. Oh my goodness, amazing Death Blossom, Danny, with the orbital ray.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was just about to talk about the swap from Keptep and onto the Sojin, and I saw all of the health bars just eviscerate.
Right.
And I was like, what on earth just happened? I mean, a huge Death Blossom coming through from Flames, just racking up so much damage with the orbital ray as well. But now Tiny Shiny behind enemy lines, Pulse Bomb in hand. Will they be able to find one? The Pulse Bomb won't come out just yet. Don't want to toss it onto that Kiriko because that cleanse does provide just a little bit of invulnerability, or invincibility rather. So you want to try to find the right angle. The Javelin coming through. The Pulse Bomb was used but was not able to find a target and stick to it. And now here comes Strike on the Zarya, trying to find the correct angle. The gravity field will come through, but won't be able to find any purchase. Keptep able to find one in the backside. Claviella going down. The jab will connect. We have the Tarot Surge up and available. Will be knocked down, but the wall was so clutch on the side of UAH, keeping everybody alive.
And getting that one last support pick before Ranger gets down. Just try to slow down UAH a little bit, but since Ranger is on defense, just going to have a long way back with how slow Orisa is, not having much mobility, only having a little bit more mobility with the Javelin spin. But I do want to bring attention to the attention aspect I brought up earlier, Ben, because that applies to Zarya. That's pretty much the entire game plan. Whenever attention's on her, she wants to bubble, because whenever you shoot those bubbles, she gets that charge, which lets her do much more damage to kind of shred those tanks. That's why she's seen as a counter to Orisa, as they're both frontline tanks, and Orisa is so good at just bullying other tanks with her cooldowns. But Zarya, with her bubbles, she can't really get bullied, and when the bubbles are set up, she's kind of forced to just ignore her. And I love this bubble usage coming from Strike, just trying to apply it to the more, like, I guess, teammates that can serve a lot of impact with their ultimates, like the Lullaby and Keptep, who have always been a thorn on the side for the side of Shenandoah.
Yeah, the Nano up and available for Claviella as well. Flames did just get that Death Blossom offline. Jay Rudy with the Orbital Ray as well, but Tiny Shiny about 14 seconds-ish away from... Oh, well, there goes the Death Blossom. Keptep is gone. The Zarya to follow Strike out of commission. The Blizzard was used by the May at the last second, so that ultimate will be down and out. A huge cooldown off the board, and maybe it was just for that swap, as the Genji will be picked up for UAH.
Right, and that's not a good look if you are on the side of UAH, because Blizzard's such an impactful ultimate. If you basically just pop that on the point, you're guaranteed to get at least a few people frozen and basically eliminated from this next fight. And getting the sleep reflected, Opal Bison, incredible reactions dealing with the dive on Claviella. And Shenandoah down one support, but with this amount of like staggering going on, there's kind of a little bit of a stalemate. Flames getting the pick on Opal Bison. Claviella should have more than enough time to make it back.
Yeah, look at these ults. 3 ultimates up and available for both sides. We have the Terror Surge up and ready to go yet again. The Rockets coming through as well. They're trying to find the Lullaby on this Juno, on this backside. Keptep, meanwhile, finding the solo kill. Well, a little assist from Lullaby as well onto Tiny Shiny there in that backside. And now here comes the fight. The Terror Surge, excuse me, that was not the Terror Surge. That is a big black hole from Zarya. And there's the Terror Surge brought down, finds 2. The supports out of the way, but Keptep and Opal Bison will be able to keep UAH in the fight and keep this push going.
Right, and it's hard to say whether or not they'll have enough time to reach the second point without another touch coming from Shenandoah, as they all, here we go, Danny on Reaper trying to see if he can set up another touch going, giving Shenandoah another fighting chance before UH gets more time on the clock to push this payload.
Yeah, Tiny Shiny was spotted. They know where she is. Flame so close to having this Death Blossom up and available. Does have it now. Lullaby goes down. Ranger, the supports are gone, but Flames will fall shortly after as soon as he pops the Death Blossom. Now it's all up to Ranger. We're able to find
Tiny
two.
Shiny.
Will finally go down. Tiny Shiny versus the world will be able to find the kills that are needed. Overtime is done. A good hold coming through from SU.
Wow, just so many ups and downs in that fight, Ben. So many, like, just a roller coaster of emotions. We saw picks left and right. It started with Tiny Shiny getting that oh so important pick. Look at that sigh of relief coming from Tiny Shiny. Look at all the work she put in, starting the line of eliminations with that very impactful Juno pick in the back line. She was so stressed out, but she can finally take a breath knowing that they got a good start in this map 1. Also finishing the fight with the final elimination on Ketep.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very back and forth fight there. I mean, Flames just ticked over to have that Death Blossom available. Pops it immediately, but the Kitsune Rush assists with taking down that Reaper before too much damage can be dealt. But Rain Dreamer on the backside of that fight, taking down 2 before Keptep is finally able to take out the Orisa, was a massive, because then that just left a 1v1. It was a Sojourn versus a Tracer. And frankly, it's Tiny Shiny's Tracer. It's pretty darn hard to catch, and Tiny Shiny was able to come up with the kill with the team fight win. And SU looking very, very strong here coming in to their attacking side for map number 2.
All right, and we do see some team swaps going on here. Cladgale is swapping for the Kiriko, having a little bit of had enough of getting died from the enemy Genji, and UH swapping to Cassie from Sojourn for Keptep. Cassie, so it's a very consistent character, a very basic game plan. You just shoot heads and you get those flashbangs. It's basically almost like a mini nuke, just basically 75 damage, but also can be used to, I guess, slow down faster characters like Tiny Shiny on the Tracer to kind of slow her down, as try to get a better way of just tracking her down. But you also do see Strike opting for Sigma. Finally, we get a tank that is not really opted for a more brawl archetype. Sigma much more poke oriented, a lot of sustain with his cooldowns, but sometimes it's a little too much, sometimes happens too fast, which Shenandoah is all about. They love that speed. They want to just kind of just run over the competition, try to just kind of take them out before they even realize what's going on.
You can see Tiny Shiny laughing down in the bottom corner of your screen. Keptep tried to roll in at the very last second to get that contest on that point. It ticked over, was captured, and Keptep was blown up immediately. Keptep does have that high noon up and available, so if they can find an angle, that can do some serious damage. Claviella on the Kiriko as well will have to use their cleanse to perfection to keep everyone alive from that one. The spear off the edge. Opal Bison is now in a very tough spot. We'll be able to stay alive. Keptep barely alive as well. Will finally go down. Flames able to find that one. Javelins getting thrown left and right. A switch over to the Diva for Strike as well, trying to come back to this dive composition with this Juno, with that speed boost that she provides. But the Kitsune Rush is up and available. The wall not working in UAH's favor. Baby Diva does go down. Claviella able to wrap that one up. Gift wrapped it practically. The cleanse coming through as well. But SU is pushing so hard right now onto the second point. There goes the Terror Surge.
There we
the
go.
Death Blossom as well. Able to find everybody on UAH. And now they just have to keep this push going. Not for much longer. Ranger pushing people off of the site. Contested 1.5 meters to go. Baby Diva won't be able to find it there. Oh, it does not go. The orbital ray coming through instead from Lullaby, but now pushed off the site. SU able to win map number 2.
Right, and such a strong showing from Shenandoah. Especially that map too. On that offense, they look nearly untouchable. And here we go. Flames play the game with the Reaper. Much deserved with the amazing ult combinations with that Nano and that Death Blossom just shredding through the tanks. And you see him poking the supports as well, getting 4 in that team fight while on defense.
Yeah, I mean, that was just another very clean map coming through from SU on that hybrid. They stuck with the same stuff minus that slight switch off of that Ana onto that Kiriko, and it worked very, very well. Was very good at counteracting any high news, any backline damage that was going to come through from that Diva switch from Strike as well. And the Kitsunes, perfectly timed as well. They did exactly what they had to do, pushing forwards that offensive power that this Brawl comp provides, and then it was just Rainjimmer and Flames again, that frontline duo with that Terror Surge, with that Death Blossom just wreaking havoc.
Right, and just I really do love that Kiriko pick there. Claviella has always had a pocket Kiriko in the back, but some would say it's kind of her best support. She has the accuracy to hit those very impactful headshots on Kiriko as her primary fire, I guess technically her secondary fire with the knives, they do increased damage on headshots. So
yeah,
she can almost like two-shot most characters in the game who aren't tanks. And if you can hit those shots, especially during a consuming rush when your fire rate is dramatically increased, Kiriko can sometimes just shred through and just give some very nice poke damage while she is healing her team.
Yeah, and I had a point, and it just left immediately. But yeah, I mean, this team looked very, very strong. This Brawl kind of style that SU tends to lean towards with every meta that we've seen, or at least that I've seen this SU roster play on, does pretty darn well. I know last semester was kind of that Diva Juno speed up kind of dive compositions with the Winston as well tossed in there every now and then. But I mean, this is just the bread and butter of what SU likes to do. Rainjimmer on the Sarissa as well has looked so good. The Javelins, really, really good. I'd love maybe later on in this semester a little graphic of how many spears were hit and how many spears were missed, because a ratio might be pretty darn cool, because I heard Nando, the SU coach, talking earlier this week that the spears, they're hitting a lot of the time, and a lot of the time SU is able to capitalize on those javelins and find those closing kills.
Right, when those spears hit, they hit. When they collide with the wall, they get stunned for even longer amount of time. Just a very nice cooldown for Orisa to have, as it's used to bully some other tanks or just disrupt some other ultimates. Like, let's say if Cassie were to high noon from like a high point in the map, she could just chuck that at him, and there you go. The ultimate is just canceled, and just adds more to Orisa's like disruptability as well as her survivability.
Yeah, and the speed that Rainjimmer is playing this Orisa with also is very beneficial for the rest of the team, right? I mean, Flames has some survivability on his own with that Reaper, with, I believe that's the primary ability, I think is that kind of like shadow ghost that Reaper kind of goes into. Yeah, the Wraith, that's what it's called. And yeah, you can do that, but sometimes you don't have to when there's a Orisa standing right with you, peeling a lot of that damage with the Javelin spin and with that kind of increased armor that they are able to use as well. Going golden is what I like to call it, but that's my League of Legends brain there, just a little bit with Zonier's Hourglass. But yeah, it's very, very strong, and thus far Alabama Huntsville has not been able to really find a response to it.
Right, and Orisa, yeah, such a big problem for UAH to deal with. She just has so much to her kit. She has that Fortify, which makes her not only like have more armor like you mentioned before, but she is CC immune. So any ultimates, like we saw in that last fight on the Icon wall while they were on attack, Ranger was able to just Fortify while going through a blizzard, and she was unable to get frozen, which is the entire point of the ultimate, to freeze anyone in the area. It's not really about damage, but that crowd control is just so important, especially on a game mode like hybrid. Yeah,
I mean, the blizzard was used once, and it was kind of not necessarily a throwaway. I think they were just trying to get it out just to get it out, because they know they were going to go towards this swap back over to the Genji on that attacking side of things. But on the other side, they weren't able to find that value out of that Blizzard. The Mei a couple times walling off the D.Va, trying to escape, leaving Baby D.Va all by themselves. And SU was able to capitalize on some of those slight slip-ups here. We see the team back in the chairs, smiles on the faces. I mean, Jay Rudy absolutely locked in as per usual, Tiny Shiny as well. But yeah, this team is looking darn near impossible to stop right now.
Right, I do want to shed some light to Jay Rudy, the rookie on this team. He has put in so much work in the past couple of weeks to kind of bring himself up to the level of standard to this squad. And correct me if I'm wrong, he was also a player for our team's League of Legends team back in the day. And here he is now playing Overwatch. So that speaks to me that he's a very versatile player and almost like a quick learner as well. He has been rising through the ranks during his time in the team as well. And we do see, I believe that is Suravasa on that push for map 3.
Yeah, push the third mode here in our 5-mode system. That NEC Esperanza, is the map coming through. I mean, hey, I was confident with that one too. Suravasa, I was like, yep, that's a Suravasa for sure. That's exactly what we are going to. But yeah, on this push map, historically for SU, the push map is not as strong as some of our other game modes that we do play on. So it'll be interesting to see how SU plays around it this time. With this new roster, maybe these new additions really bolstered and heightened our push potential, but we'll just have to wait and see as SU is looking to try to close out on a clean 3-0.
Right, Esperanza, a map that has a lot of it's a very weird map to talk about because like we see right now, it has a lot of like these choke points, which is great for a lot of brawl compositions, but we see a lot of those windows, all those inside those buildings, those little openings, which is great for taking angles with, like, let's say your Widowmakers or your Cassidys, but also for a character like Tracer, a lot of more room for her to run around and just be a nuisance.
Yeah, there's a lot of flank potential in this map. I mean, what we just flew through is a tiny little corridor that I forget exists every time I play this map, right? So there's 100%, if I'm in the game, a Tracer to get towards the back line, but we'll see if UAH is able to keep an eye on that flank angle. And frankly, if Tiny Shiny is able to get to that backside like she has been able to do so all series long, it could spell disaster and a 3-0 in favor of the Hornets.
Right, and we'll just have to see what happens when we jump into this map, what kind of adjustments can be made by UAH. We've seen a lot of adjustments made in the form of their team comp. We saw the swap from Sojourn into Cass. We saw the swap from Genji to Mei. We saw Malaga to Sigma and Zarya.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see what sort of adjustments that can be made from UH that goes beyond just the team composition. How do we play? What kind of targets do you want to go for first? What seems to be the biggest issue for us? And we do see another change going on. I'm not sure if
I don't
seeing
know if
this
that's
correctly.
real.
No, this
I'm
cannot be
I'm gonna
real.
say no. I mean,
I-
all right, switches are coming through.
Currently, I see Tiny Shiny on the Torbjorn. I saw
we're
saw
back.
Clavia on the Mercy. Thankfully, she has swapped off of Mercy to the Ana, and UH opting for a much more different composition, again, with the Brawl, but a little bit of sneakiness as well with the dive DPS. Kept up on the Sombra. That is a character you don't see very often at this level of competition, and Opal Bison sticking to the Trident, shoot Genji, and strike another Brawl tank, Junker Queen. Man, this character is something else. Just a very oppressive character to deal with in the front line, just very annoying to deal with, and if you're in the back lines, because of the knife throw to pull you in with the axe combo, and the sustainability with her shout and her adrenaline rush passive. We do see Alfie swapping from the Kiriko to the Brig to kind of act as a sort of bodyguard to the Juno.
Yeah, it's going to be Keptep. Oh, Clabiella able to find one on the backside here as well. Clabiella already on top of Keptep on to this Sombra, trying to get away. Will just barely be able to do so. Clabiella does get killed in the meantime, but look at Flames, the TP up top, trying to find the angle. Jay Rudy able to find Lullaby, the Juno 1v1 going SU's way for the first time tonight. But yeah, I mean, right now Keptep struggling to get behind these enemy lines. Entering this first initial skirmish all the way at the very beginning, KepTep got nailed with a javelin and almost one shot by Tiny Shiny on this Tracer. So if they can find those angles, if Ranger can continue to hit these insane javelins, I mean, it's going to be a long push map for UAH.
Right, and I do love this sort of mobility used from Tiny Shiny and Flames to get into those poking areas with a double blink from Tiny Shiny from the high ground to get into those windows, or the teleport from Flames to kind of just be a nuisance to those who try to set up for, I guess, some sort of flank on the die DPS. But you see a lot more frontlining, hitting that javelin and just bullying to the Genji to just restrict his mobility a little bit, but the purple not quite getting the kill there. But we do see a lot more sustainability. The ults are building up like the orbals on both sides. We also have the pulse, and we do see the orbital coming from the Terror Surge.
Oh,
but
man.
Death Blossom combo, the boop is not enough. That will be 3 kills from the side of the Flames Range Dreamer duo. Tiny Shiny taking out Opal Bison as well. At least only KepTep, but where is he? Sombra is such a very tricky character to find, sometimes more tricky to track down than Tracer, because at least with Tracer you can somewhat see her when she's like, flipping around, but Sombra, she likes to go invisible when she's not seen by the other team. We do see the orbital coming from J. Rudy, but we also still have the Nano on deck, but Opal Bison going down. But even though they got hit by the Carnage from Strike, that is not enough. They were able to properly sustain from that, popping the Nano on Range Dreamer. Are we gonna get a full cap here right away?
I mean, it looks like it could potentially be a full cap. Strike swapping over to the Sigma. Opal Blossom does have the Dragon Blade up and available. KepTep onto the Sojourn as well, but no abilities on the side of SU is up and available. The Dragon Blade will be pulled from the sheath. Flames going down, the first one to fall to the sword. KepTep following up with 2 kills of their own. SU pushed back, held at bay. The full cap will not come through just yet. 6.5 minutes to go on this push, and a whole lot of ground to cover for Alabama Huntsville.
Right, and Yui showing a little bit of signs of life with that fight 1. When Opal Bison started that fight with the Dragon Blade, Shenandoah already used all of their ultimates at that point, so they had no other ultimates to match that with, and KepTep kind of capitalized off of the staggerness from Shenandoah to rack up 3 more kills on the side of UAH.
Yeah, nice reset coming through here from SU. Tiny Shiny trying to find this poke damage yet again. The first distance being put in UAH's favor now, but still a long way to go. The Pulse Bomb coming through will find one. The Brig erased in the blink of an eye. Flames, however, will go down. KepTep able to find that kill. Now Ranger in trouble, has to be healed. J. Rudy now in trouble as well. Everyone on top of the backline. Strike able to find 2 melees back to back. The supports are gone for SU. Tiny Shiny trying to be that thorn for SU, but KepTep shutting that one down fast. UAH with a great fight and a great push to start their re-engage, if you will.
Right, and we do see a little bit of adaptation from UAH here. Do see that they're trying to track down Tiny Shiny on the Tracer as they seem to be the biggest sort of threat for them, as she always seems to poke the back line, just be a big nuisance for them, while also trying to just ignore the Orisa that is so oppressive. Trying to get another combo going, but no, that's nothing to show for, but still getting one.
Nice javelin.
Taking out Alfie with the rally on that was being activated, and no other ultimates being used to my knowledge. And yeah, no overclock got used as well from KepTep, but that was not enough to swing the tide of this fight.
Yeah, KepTep was able to find 1 kill with that overclock, but 2 beautiful javelins coming through for Ranger. 1 onto the purple Sigma, and then again onto the overclocked Sojin. KepTep trying to escape, but shut down immediately by another javelin. Great stuff coming through from the tank player for SU. Flames will get taken out yet again by KepTep here. Sojin doing a great job at hunting down this Reaper and keeping them at bay. Death Blossom up and available. J. Rudy has the Orbital Ray as well, with very critical ultimates on the way for SU. But on the same side, UAH, that Dragon Blade is almost back and ready to unsheath.
Right, and we do have more ults to show for from side of Shenandoah. We do have the Death Blossom. No Terror Surge in sight to get out, but getting one with the Death Blossom. Happy enough, who knows, as Opal Bison takes out Kaibel with the Dragon Blade. Tiny Strike taking out Alfie with just a quick melee strike taking out. They're just trading back and forth. There is no tank on the side of UOH, which could be a big problem for them. But Tiny Strike taking out two with two quick melees, Opal Bison and Lullaby. And it looks like Shenandoah is taking back the robot after a big drought of them having control over it.
Yeah, Opal Bison and Flames pop their ultimate pretty much at the exact same time, both able to find one, but in the end, SU able to reign supreme. The Orbital Ray perfectly placed on the side of J. Rudy. Now, Tiny Shiny has the Pulse Bomb up and available, trying to find this back line access. Glabiella, the Nano, up and available as well on this Ana strike. Does have the ultimate up and available. I'm not sure what that one was called. I'm going to say Gravity Well, question mark. I'm not entirely sure, but one goes purple. The bomb explodes, and there goes Sigma's ultimate. Finds Glabiella. Will be able to find the kill with that one. The Nano off the board, but already SU trying to maintain possession, pushing forwards. Flames able to find one. Tiny Shiny in the backside. A fist to the head to Kep goes down. Ranger able to find the kill onto Lullaby as well. And now Terror Surge Nano still up and available for SU.
Right, and Kaibel unfortunately was not able to cancel out the Flux with the Sleep Dart. Barely missing the mark there, but doesn't seem to be the biggest deal for her, as she was the only one to go down in that fight to my knowledge. And Shenandoah still has two very important ultimates at their disposal. Strike swapping to the new tank on the block, Hazard. We'll have to see how this goes when the timer is slowly ticking down, only 2 minutes left. This gets decided by whoever has pushed up more at this point. And the Terror Surge, will that take out the Soldier and then just pop the overclock? Not yet. But there's no more support, only the Hazard and the Sojourn are left standing. But it looks like this Hazard just cannot sustain enough without his support by his side. And another clean sweep from Shenandoah. They still have the Nano on deck, and the Death Blossom is so close to being online as well. A little bit more, and the Pulse Bomb can also be added to the mix.
Yeah, Orbital Ray ready for J. Rudy as well, but again, Range Humor finding an opening, pulling the trigger immediately. So many people just went purple. Range Humor going in, Javelins getting thrown, in goes Flames, will be taken out by Kep. Range Humor able to find Lullaby in the meantime. Everyone stacked up on this robot, but everyone on the side of SU is falling. Range Humor, the last one standing on the point, might be able to find the kill. The Javelin just barely going wide, going to fortify. The Nano coming through as well. Will this be what swings it back into SU's favor? No, it is not. SU unable to get to that robot. Another team fight win for UAH.
Right, and nicely done by UAH. They did have the positional advantage, as even when one teammate would fall, they would quickly respawn and get out, like we saw at the end of the fight. Opal Bison was the first to go, but also was still able to be there at the end of the fight as well, without just Genji's mobility and the quick respawn timer to like distance. I guess we can call it ratio, but UAH have way more ultimates than Shenandoah at this point. We do have the Dragon Blade as well as the Rally, as it will get popped by Alfie, but getting stunned in the process. At this point in the game, Shenandoah just has to win one team fight, and it should be over for this series. But Opal Bison has something to say about it, taking out both supports, and Kep taking out Flames. This is looking very dire for Shenandoah, but if you're on the side of Shenandoah, this might not be the worst thing in the world, as they only have to win one more fight. If UAH constantly on the back foot this map 3, they have to win every fight from now until then if they have any chance of continuing this series.
Here's the thing, look at these ult timers, right? Range Humor just used that Terror Surge, won't be able to have that one up for possibly the next two pivotal fights here. Kep 3% away from having that overclock up and available. Tiny Shiny is the closest on the side of SU to having that Pulse Bomb, still about 25% away. It's going to have to be a huge play coming through from this SU squad to keep this push from going true. Kep, the overclock popped, unable to find anything with it. Opal Bison going dangerously low, will be almost taken out. It's going to be the javelin to Alfie. Instead, the supports are gone on the side of Alabama Huntsville. Now everyone gets erased from the face of the earth. The pulse bomb strikes true, and SU hold on with a clean 3-0.
Very convincing indeed, and look at the vibes from the team. Very well done, fist bumps all around. We do see the fruits of their labor coming into fruition as they all are very happy about their victory. See Kyle hitting a little dance in the back. Very exciting. Opal Bison getting to play the game of this map 3 with what gave them the momentum to keep going in this last push that they had this map 3. And then, even though it might have been a 3-0, UH still had a decent showing as well as far as just trying to stay alive in this team fights as well as the series, just trying to gain as much momentum as they can. But like I said before, Shenandoah, they're like a steamroller, right? They try to go so fast, just roll over the competition. And once they get going, it's almost like a snowball. You can hardly stop them.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum was there. The synergy especially was there from every single member of this SU squad. I mean, Raindreamer and Flames were really just taking over some of these very pivotal fights in these 3 maps that we saw. I mean, we saw Terror Surge come up, we saw Death Blossom come up, and we went, all right, we're going to hit the go button in about 5 seconds, right? And all hell will break loose. And frankly, it did, and it looked pretty darn good from that frontline duo.
Right, and like you said before, just hitting the gas is all that Shenandoah, that's what they like to do best, and that is what they do best.
Yeah.
They love just stepping the gas, almost no brakes attached to it. Once you get going, there's no stopping them once they get their momentum. They just love their duo composition. I love that the Raindreamer was Flames, the Terror Surge plus the Death Blossom. We do see the very potent and just ironclad defense from the supports, Claudiel and Jay Rudy, the newcomer who I want to give more attention to as he has constantly just been putting in the work, like I mentioned before, putting in the work as well as kind of adapting to how this team functions.
Yeah, it's really, that looked pretty darn clean, right? And everyone on the side of SU looked really good, but on the side of Alabama Huntsville as well, I mean, huge props to Opal Bison and Keptep. The 2 DPSs looked very, very strong for Alabama Huntsville. Strike as well, Lullaby, Alfie on those supports as well. Everyone looked pretty darn strong. They were finding answers here and there to this Orisa comp that SU was running, but then SU was able to adapt in time fast enough and really get those ultimate combinations back ready and available, and then go again with seemingly the same but kind of tweaked strategy. And that's a lot thanks to Tiny Shiny with taking a lot of the attention off of that backside as well. I mean, it was really, really hard for the backline of Alabama Huntsville to really play the game.
Right, and like I said before, attention is a resource, right? Just Tiny Shine constantly just being a nuisance to the backline, just taking their attention away from the supports, away from their tanks and DPSs to kind of just sustain the team while they have to deal with this Trace who's a near like unhittable target to deal with. In the backline. She might have the lowest health pool in the game, but that doesn't mean she's easy to take out because she has that mobility and even the sustainability with her movement, able to run around to pick up health packs, so she can kind of play her own game. Like I mentioned, she doesn't really have a duo in the sense of this team comp. She just plays her own game and has that recall to just get more position, get more charges from her dash as well, and just keep her HP up.
Yeah, that get out of jail free card is pretty darn useful. We do have a little bit of insight on the way as well. We have an interview ready to go. Griffin is standing by with Bailey. Raindreamer, our Orisa tank. Take it away, guys.
All the adrenaline.
Hello, everybody. We are back after all the action is done. I am Griffin once again, and I am joined today by Raindreamer. We had a quick little 3-0 in favor of Shenandoah. Great performance. Raindreamer, how are you feeling after that performance?
I am feeling really proud of our team. I knew that we could do it. We've been working really hard to build our synergy. I mean, even over last summer, we play so well together. Me and Danny specifically have been working on like our duos and making sure that we are holding hands in game and just playing together, and it really paid off.
difficulties there for that interview. I don't know. We're trying out some new tech here. We got some new toys and still going through some bumps there. Unfortunately, unable to get that interview. But from the little bits that we did get, they played over the summer, looked pretty darn good, and they kept playing and are friends and very happy to be playing together. So yeah, great stuff coming through from the SU squad, and I just can't wait to see more.
Yeah, and such a great start from SU and their NECC bracket as well. They might not have had the best showing in terms of results-wise on their NACE match on Tuesday. We did not get to see the true details on that. We didn't really get to have that broadcasted, but this is such a great showing for them on the side of NECC, solidifying as one of the few schools to get a first win on their season pool. And just let's see if they can ride that momentum like they do in game, outside of the game. Like, what can they do to improve their play styles, to improve upon like the mistakes that they may have made, and kind of just solidify more of those like duo aspects that we were talking about before.
Yeah, no, it has looked great thus far. We are going to give one more shot at this interview, see if everything is fixed. We'll toss it right back over to Griffin, who is still joined by Bailey Rangemer, our tank player.
For that, everyone, we are back after that short technical delay, but we are once again joined by Rain Dreamer. We already asked the question about how you felt after that match. We talked about how you guys had that beautiful combo. We talked about this energy. Now, what I want to know is, what long-term goals do you guys have for the season?
That's actually something we haven't fully discussed as a team, but I say for me personally, I just want to win it all. I want to make sure that we can get a really good season and win it all.
That is the goal, as always. Have fun, win it all, coincide. But anyway, in Game 3 specifically, what was the mentality near the end, right? We saw you guys have such a strong push initially. You got the first checkpoint and then had almost the whole thing right off the bat, and then there was kind of some back and forth throughout the match. We saw some pick swaps coming on from the other team. You guys stayed solid with your kind of roster. So what was the mentality there?
So on that map specifically, when we were pushing the bot, we had gotten so far that, yes, we could have ended it, but we didn't want to have them win that fight and then have them push it really far while we're respawning. So what we do is that we give them that space to think that they're going to push it all the way, and then we roll them, and then we proceed to push the bot further. We let Molly push it as Tracer because Tracer can get out super duper easily. So mentality wise, we were solid. Like we knew what we were doing. We were all very calm, surprisingly. But yeah, I'd say that's what we were doing.
All right. Thank you for joining me today. Very insightful, very knowledgeable. I want to thank all you guys for watching at home. We're going to send it back to Kyle and Ben in the booth to do our outro. I will see you guys later.
It worked. Hooray.
Yeah.
We got the interview on the stream for you guys, Ranger, with that insight. Good to hear that they were not nervous at all in that map 3 push, because it did look like Alabama Huntsville had a little bit of a momentum going there, but they calculated it out ahead of time, knew that, all right, we can give them space. We have a lot to give, and it worked.
Yeah, I do love the comments from Shenandoah. Map 1, you always get those new season, new jitters coming from either side of the story, right? So it's really important that you kind of keep your mental level-headed, keep your head up, try to take a deep breath, get rid of all the nerves as much as you can, just play it out, because sometimes you can't eliminate all of the nerves, and it's important you just play through it and just stick with your team, stick with the game plan, and that is exactly what Shenandoah did to win this series. Even when UAH were winning a few fights in that map 3, winning a bit more of momentum to swing the game more in their favor as time went on, Shenandoah were still able to solidify that last win and keep their pace and their head together.
Yeah, I mean, that is just a great showing from the squad. I think that will do it for this week. Join us next week for more esports action. Drop a like, follow wherever you are watching. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might just change their life, and we will see you next week.
Winchester, Virginia. I am here live in the Esports Arena where all the action is happening. We're going to get a talk here. I'm Griffin, and I'm joined by Danny, a.k.a. Flames. Danny, how are you feeling?
We're feeling pretty good. First game for NECC. We're trying to see how it goes this season.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to come out here and ask you a couple quick questions. I know I've been wanting to know. I know the fans have been wanting to know. So,
I think I'm looking forward to play RMU. That's a team from where I'm from. I'm from Pittsburgh, so it's kind of more around my area. Trying to see where I can get with them. And
one last question. I wanted to know, do you have any like outlasting goals from last season that you're going to look to carry into this season to like kind of build off of?
I think I'm looking forward to just try and take what I did last season and elevate it. I tried to take
as far as they can.
Right.
But some other teams who have taken that unfortunate loss.
Mentally with a clean slate into this matchup is exactly what you want to see from this Overwatch roster. Now we go through some of our player cams here. You just saw Ranger. There's Tiny Shiny. You've seen her on the desk quite a lot, but last semester and this semester, piloting the DPS for SU here. There's Flames there, that Reaper player, the menace of the backline, pairing a lot of the times with Ranger, with that Orisa in those twos. Jay Rudy, the new support as well. And then I believe we're going to kick it right over to Clabby-Ella after this one. Yep, there she is, Clabby-Ella, the other support for the SU squad. So everyone looking locked in.
Always trying to have a good time. Obviously, she wants to win as well. And there's Jay Rudy.
Brig, those speed ups, that rally as well from the Brig does so much work for your front line that sometimes it's really hard to.
You have to like gain. You have to give them your attention, because if you don't give them your attention, your backline will get blown up by the Tracer.
We're going through one here right now. This is the entry on one side of the map here. So some hallways, some flank angles here with this kind of bow scan flame going low. Tiny Shiny still getting a lot of chip damage onto these backline members. Able to find two, Strike falling on the Malga, the cast and cap coming through, and now it will be the first take for
It's by Captep the Cassidy.
Now already we can see Tiny Shiny trying to get in that backline. Strike off the map. The SD Tiny Shiny Clabby-Ella with the Nano Terror Surge coming out. The Death Blossom as well in tow. Finds one. Tiny Shiny on the backside, finding two of her own. The supports are gone. A good re-engage coming through there from Alabama. Huntsville will re-enter the site. The totem is gone, and now everyone on Alabama Huntsville is getting pushed out of the site. The Ilaria will fall.
Right, and some really well-placed coordination from Shy. There's no way to cleanse that if you don't have a Kiriko on your team.
The Malga Strike going purple, but Rain Dreamer has already fallen.
The most so impactful, the Orbital Ray. like mentioned, with the damage boost, powering Flames with the Death Blossom and the Terror Surge. That's what I'm talking about, Danny. Danny's combo with Rain Streamer, just getting this.
The perfect pulse bomb. The Orbital Ray will now come out. Flames is moving forwards, trying to find these kills. The DPS lines are so gosh darn low. Rain Dreamer.
Anti-nade, which Malga relies on Tiny Shiny to get the health pack, but maybe they are. And here we go, Tiny Shiny getting that second pick, getting the third one on Opal Bison. Well, Danny pushes it up, and they take their first map of this series.
At least, and everyone else just kind of gets blown to oblivion from Flames' Reaper. And it looks like we are going into hybrid here, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eichenwald.
Your different tank to try to just kind of poke, just slow things down. Because Shenandoah, they look almost like a steamroll. It's almost impossible to stop them by passive, where the person that applied by DPS passive get less healing.
Yeah, we do see the switch off of the Echo into this May. We'll be able to find one into the back to get as much time in their favor as they can. I mean, there's Jay Rudy able to find one. That is the back line of UAH down and gone. They might have been able to save this first point. The Zarya trying to keep anyone alive that they can, but Flames going to be able to find two. And Ranger with a jab
into May. Try to just lean more into that Brawl archetype, as Zarya likes to play very Brawl-like. Oh my goodness, amazing Death Blossom. Danny with the Orbital Ray.
Clabby-Ella going down the jab will connect. We have the Tarot Surge up and available. Will be knocked down, but the wall was so clutch.
And getting that one last support pick before Ranger gets
away from. Oh, well, there goes the Death Blossom. Kept is gone. The Zarya to follow, Strike out of commission. The Blizzard was used by the Mei at the last second, so that ultimate will be down. And now here comes the fight. The Terror Surge, excuse me, that was not the Terror Surge. That is a big black hole from Zarya. And there's the Terror Surge brought down, finds two. The supports out of the way, but Kep and Opal, the Death Blossom now is all up to Ranger. Able to find two. Will finally go down. Tiny Shiny versus the world will be able to find the kills that are needed. Overtime is done. A good hold coming through from it.
Opted for a more brawl archetype. Sigma much more poke oriented, a lot of sustain with his cooldowns, but it's too fast, which Shenandoah is all about. They love that speed. They want to just
now in a very tough spot. We'll be able to stay alive. Kep barely alive as well. Will finally go down. Flames able to find that one. Javelin's getting thrown left. You is pushing so hard right now onto the second point. There goes the Terror Surge. The Death Blossom as well. Able to find everybody through instead from Lullaby, but now pushed off the site. SU able to win map number 2.
Right, and such a strong show. Here we go. Flames play the game with the Reaper. Much deserved with the amazing old combinations with that Nano and that Death Blossom just shredding through the tanks. And we see him poking the supports as well. Player for our team's League of Legends team back in the day. And here he is now playing Overwatch. So that speaks to me that he is a very versatile. It's a very weird map to talk about because like you see right now, has a lot of like these choke points, which is great for a lot of brawl compositions, but we see a lot
able to find one on the backside here as well. Knabia already on top of Kep on to this Sombra, trying to get away. Will just barely be able to do. Ranger can continue to hit these insane javelins. I mean, it's going to be a long push map for UAH.
Right, I do love this sort of mobility used from Tiny Shiny and Flames to get, and you do see the orbital coming from the Terror Surge. But the Death Blossom combo with the Boop is not enough. That will be 3 kills from the side of the Flame.
Dragon Blade will be pulled from Sheath. Flames going down. The first one to fall to the sword. Kep following up with 2 kills of their own. SUAH's favor now, but still a long way to go. The Pulse Bomb coming through will find to start their re-engage, if you will.
Right, the Orisa that is so oppressive. Trying to get another combo going, but no Death Blossom to show for. We're still getting one.
Nice javelin.
Taking out Alfie with the rally on that was being activated, and no, will that be enough? Who knows? As Opal Bison takes out Kaibel with the Dragon Blade. Tiny Strike taking out Alfie was just a quick melee strike taking out. It's just they're just
able to find one. Tiny Shiny in the backside. A fist to the head. Kep goes down
at this point, and the Terror Surge will that take out the Soldier, and then just pop the overclock. Not yet, but there's no more supports. Only the Hazard and the Sojourn are left standing. But it looks like his Hazard just cannot sustain enough without his support.
Out by Kep. Ranger able to find Lullaby in the meantime. Everyone stacked up on this robot, but everyone on the side of SU is falling. Ranger
be over for this series, but Opal Bison has something to say about it. Taking out both supports, and Kep taking out Flames is looking very dire for Shin.
Almost taken out. It's going to be the Javelin to Alfie. Instead, the supports are gone on the side of Alabama. Huntsville. Now everyone gets erased from the face of the earth.
The team very well done. Fist bumps all around. You see their
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the esports arena is the esports war room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.